speaking, dudes and dudettes, are you tired of Hollywood's bogus blockbuster bullshit? Well, then you're going to dig this news, because I managed to dig up this excellent piece of art house synergy that is Downtown 81. This little indie flick was the brain flower child of one Jeans Mitchell B. Squat, who's probably done some stuff you most likely never heard of, too busy being sheep and all that junk. But this one in particular has a gnarly history to itself, as it was made back in the 80s under the name New York Beat Movie. But before it was finished, it lost its major fundage, leaving it in a state of Dragsville for years. Until one day, it got its fundage back and was released to the world the way it was meant to be seen. Let's have ourselves a little drum roll, please. This is Downtown 81. So we start this flick off with our heads in the clouds as we get this strange narration.
Anyway, the story you are about to see isn't true, but it isn't false either. Any resemblance between the characters and events depicted here and reality is purely magical.
So it's like a no man's land of pseudo-intellectualism or some junk.
I awoke.
We then see our hero rising out from his crib as he seems to have time traveled and tries to be like Inception, and he ends up in the clinic.
He said that I was cured.
You're cured.
He said that I was free to go.
You're free to leave now.
Those are my lines. Those are his lines.
He said I was free. He was right. But he had no idea.
Sounds like he's anticipating him showing up again. The movie then seems to confuse clinics with clinks for some reason.
I was glad to say goodbye to that place.
He then takes a small stroll across the city and monologues along the way.
The subway fare had gone up, but that was okay. I knew my way downtown and walking was deluxe.
While a random sermon seems to take place for some reason.
And the earth was formless, void, darkness upon the face of the deep. The spirit moved across the water and there was light.
Flies! Flies. Flies on my tongue, so I eat them. Flies on the windshield, so make an omelet. Maggots. Maggots in the morning, so hold your baby tight.
New York is my kind of town. If you can make it there, you can sell people your unwanted hair.
You don't say, eh? Well, I'll accept your challenge and take a shot at it. Fresh hair, step right up and get your unwanted fresh hair. Hey, mister, would you be interested in some hair today?
Get that away from me!
Excuse me, miss, are you interested in hair today? Say, are you interested in any hair today? Why, certainly, yes, anything in seersucker? He then lists off some things to look forward to in the city.
Like I didn't have a care in the world. Because I didn't. I had interests. Anatomy.
Of grayness.
Plutonium.
Explosions.
Lazarus.
Metrion Zinthos.
Sherlock Holmes. Hieroglyphics. Popeye.
Yosemite Sam.
New York, Gotham City. The Big Apple.
After describing apples, he tries to get out of buying one.
What's the most you ever lost on a coin toss?
Heads or tails?
Sir, the most you ever lost on a coin toss.
After explaining the complex story on the origins of cotton, he meets this bodacious babe.
Beatrice. She's a model. She makes more money in one day than I made in the last year. Her job is standing still or walking.
These days they call it YouTubing. We then see that she's a telepath and communicates her thoughts externally rather than internally. Just to fuck around with him.
She seemed really familiar. Maybe I'd seen her pictures in the magazines. I don't think so. But then she said she had the same feeling about me.
You know, Jean, I have the same feeling about you. I feel that you're someone I already know.
she drops him off to his shindig when suddenly
Hey, I caught
he gets kicked out for not paying his rent.
you. Owe me $422.60, including legal.
Right.
Yeah, don't you just hate it when you're treated like you're intruding the place? I mean, that's just... Hey, what's going on?
Okay.
So after showing how the wind rustles with dry leaves, he's being hustled by some druggie.
I got BT-82. Come back and fuck you up, bro.
High fives another one.
Boom.
Hey, my man.
And another. Gets hit on by a couple of some drive-by floozies. And some guy who forgot to hold a gun.
Hey, you brought up my van, man. I'm gonna get you, punk.
You're lucky there ain't any drive-by shootings planned this week. Also, I seem to have lost my gun in one of these shoes. I keep forgetting which one exactly.
Hey, Jean, you know we're at the Mud Club tonight.
He then comes across some fellow wall painters.
Hey man, that's private property.
Hey, my man, I'm a taxpayer. I can paint anywhere I want to paint. Besides, it's legal.
Another commission?
Sort of a commission. We're doing it for some friends of ours. It's half commission, half donation.
Yeah. You've got to have a spray painting license.
Who are you, Henry Godzilla?
He makes his way to the local hip-hop studio.
Got 81 crime for 81 Jews, or 81 boom bands and 81 fools.
As he goes through the back door
See you tomorrow.
to be informed of his gig,
You got a gig tomorrow.
Yeah, alright.
we start hearing that sermon from earlier again.
The earth was formless, void, darkness upon the face of the...
Quiet. Speechless like a mime.
Bold and noisy like a crime. Don't you dare waste my time, cause life can stop
On a dime.
We see another floozy asking about his painting,
Making a delivery?
and she gives him the 411 on a potential customer.
I'll give you her number.
He then gives a rundown on the whole livery line, and it looks like the Dr. Novas and BT-82s are starting to kick in.
It's giving me a headache.
Excuse me.
And he comes across the most queer preacher I've ever seen. Isn't that like a contradiction?
Can you believe that people are permitted to walk down the street looking like that? Unbelievable.
Just ignore it, man.
Yeah, I probably forgot to mention the very strange reason for the bad lip-syncing in this flick. You see, when this flick was sitting around in a production booth for 2 decades, portions of the sound tapes were lost and had to be redubbed by the cast. The sole exception being the star himself, who OD'd in the late 80s, and had to get some dude named Saul, which is weird since he normally sends others to do his bidding.
Saul Goodman sent me.
It's a pattern. They are multiplying, cloning. And I say, if that's the face of the future, I don't want to have anything to do with it.
Sounds like you've been to the future already.
I mean, could you imagine if you were being recorded with someone else's voice? So after that, we cut to a scene that showcases what the bodacious babe does for a living. She makes artistic statements like burning through cash like a goddamn consumer.
Stupid asshole.
She then decides to vacate the premises when the boss twinsies stall her long enough for her shift to be up.
Sorry I'm late, Dad. Let's get out of here. 30% cash. Hello, Ralph.
After going past what I assume is their declaration of renouncing men or something,
That's it. Never again.
possibly hinting towards other kinds of relations?
Swing!
Swing.
Tentpole! She's a babe.
Today's letter is joint.
We cut to our main man as he decides to go through some profiles and cracks the code as to what his true identity is. Aha! I knew it was AOILEX the whole time. This then segues into another story arc of significance.
Never again.
As he tells us about all the plights of being an industry slave.
I've broken my back carrying heavy amplifiers. I get to the club hours early so that my fans won't see me carrying my own equipment. And then I have to stay until the place closes just to get paid. So you work 2 jobs just so you can have a little bit of time for rehearsal. They say the band was unrehearsed, the personality was totally affected.
I can't sign you.
It takes up all my time. I could have been a great surgeon. Well, that's that. What a relief. Now maybe I'll have time to finish my painting. Never again.
Oh, boo-hoo. Let me play a sad song for you on the world's smallest violin. This is serious. I know. This really is the world's smallest violin. See?
Never again.
The 2 broads then escort him to the big gig place.
What's going on?
We have rehearsal time at the studio.
Oh.
I forgot what we were doing, Kerrex.
Did you just call me Kerrex?
Yes, I did.
Kerrex is right here.
Guys, show go on! Come on!
Thank you, Elmo.
10 minutes to get there.
10 minutes? Oh, all right.
As we cut to our hero as he represents his situation as a quasi-finished totem pole named Copenflap. He then decides to make a bold artistic statement to the big business heads and tells them where exactly is the opposite to where they can take their offers and shove them straight into. He meets up with a human rarity as she talks about his days as a lab rat for med students.
These doctors would come with med students. I felt like the slide in a microscope.
Oh, poor Jean.
He puts up the painting offer and receives his first payment.
I see you soon. Ciao, genio.
He then moseys along the streets as he's monologuing about how political McDonald's has become lately against Church's chicken. He then spots his jams being jacked and witnesses the murder of his camera.
Hey, wait!
He tries to catch a cab.
Hey, man, let's go. Follow that van.
I need a destination.
I don't know where.
I don't follow vans.
You're yellow.
And your taxi is orange. As he's discussing things being too plush safe these days, an argument that I'm thankfully glad is becoming relevant, we cut to another jam session taking place. He then notices a bandmate who seems to be in the middle of a mediocre BDSM session.
They took everything. Who would do something like this? A thief.
No shit, Sherlock.
Why not from someone who has it? Like Kiss or the Ramones or something. Because they have security, man. What do we have?
You mean our faith in each other and the power of friendship?
That and the fact they sold themselves out to the big business types.
I think it was another band. Yeah? Or it was an inside job. Man.
After some analyses of their situation, now that they have no gear for their jam sessions, we cut to some other jam session overlapped with leftover footage to fill out the runtime. Wait, where did that come from? Well, anyway,